Mudarabah is an Islamic financial concept that is a form of partnership where one party provides the capital and the other party provides the expertise and management. It is based on the principles of profit sharing and risk sharing. Mudarabah is a popular tool in Islamic finance and can be used for various purposes, including project financing, working capital needs, and investment accounts. Islamic banks often use mudarabah structures in their financial products. In this matter, there are two parties involved, which are Rab'ul Mal and Mudarib. Rab'ul Mal is the investor or provider of capital, while Mudarib, entrepreneur or manager who uses the capital to carry out a business venture. In Mudarabah, there are two types, which are restricted Mudarabah, which are Al-Mudarabah Al-Muqayyada, and unrestricted Mudarabah, Al-Mudarabah Al-Mutlaqah. Restricted Mudarabah, where the Rab'ul Mal specifies certain conditions or restrictions regarding how the capital should be used, and the Mudarib must adhere to these guidelines while managing the business. While unrestricted Mudarabah, the Mudarib has full discretion and flexibility in managing the business. There are no specific restrictions imposed by the Rab'ul Mal. The validity of the commodity in a Mudarabah contract refers to the acceptability and appropriateness of the capital provided by the investor for the Mudarabah partnership. The capital plays a critical role in determining the legitimacy and functionality of the Mudarabah arrangement. Firstly, must follow Sharia compliance. The funding must be from legal or halal sources. Investments in or proceeds from businesses that are forbidden by Islamic law, such gambling, interest-bearing funds, or the sale of alcoholic beverages, are invalid, and the capital shouldn't come from loans or other obligations owed by the Mudarib. Second, tradable. Cash or bank deposits are common examples of the monetary form in which the capital must be normally be supplied. This guarantees easy use and transparent valuation in commercial operations. Other than that, may use tangible assets such as products or real estates, but they need to be precisely valued or readily convertible into currency, and both parties must initially agree on the asset's worth. Third, clear and defined, where the amount and type of capital must be clearly defined in the Mudarabah contract. This includes specifying the exact amount of money or detailed descriptions of non-monetary assets to prevent misunderstandings later on. Next, the modus operandi of Mudarabah. The Rab al-Mal contributes the financial resources like cash, tradable goods, or permissible assets to fuel the business venture, and on the other hand, Mudarib will bring their expertise, skills, and efforts to manage the business operations. The Rab al-Mal gives the Mudarib the agreed upon capital once the contract is established. This gives the Mudarib the authority to take charge and run the company. It is noteworthy that the Mudarib skills is allowed to thrive because the Rab al-Mal is usually not too involved in the day-to-day activities. Mudarabah real essence is found in its profit-sharing structure. If the business succeeds and makes money, the Rab al-Mal, which is the investor, and Mudarib will split the profits in accordance with the agreed upon percentage. Both the Rab al-Mal and the Mudarib are rewarded for their effective management, and both receive a return on their investment as a result of this. Move on to salient Sharia issues in the contemporary application of Mudarabah. Firstly, guarantees and risk sharing, where there are Islamic banks that could guarantee the principal amount deposited to Rab al-Mal. This violates the basic principles of Mudarabah, which states the Rab al-Mal suffers all losses. Since it transforms Mudarabah into an impractical debt-based contract with a guaranteed return, this strategy raises concerns. Mudarabah risk-reward ratio and profit-sharing arrangement are under threat. Next, information asymmetry and monitoring. There can be a significant knowledge gap between the Rab al-Mal and the Mudarib. As such, it might be more challenging for the Rab al-Mal to monitor the Mudarib activities, enforce compliance to Sharia, and efficiently handle risks. Without sufficient control, there's a risk that the Mudarib will break the law or neglect their responsibilities. The solution for guarantees and risk sharing. Shared risk and profit is emphasized by Sharia. The mudarib should be inspired to properly handle the capital, and the Rob Alman should be encouraged to select projects carefully. This risk-reward balance is weakened by guarantees. Information asymmetry and monitoring. The mudarib's operations can also be examined by an impartial committee with knowledge of Islamic finance to make sure they comply to Sharia rules. Next, we'll be looking for the difference between mudarabah and murabaha. Mudarabah is a profit-sharing partnership where one party provides the capital and the other provides expertise and management. It involves shared profits and risk, while murabaha is a cost-plus financing arrangement where the seller discloses the cost of an asset and adds a profit margin, selling it to the buyer at an agreed price. It is essentially a form of Islamic trade finance. Lastly, the resolutions of Sharia Advisory Council of Bank Negara Malaysia. Islamic Banking Organization proposed to launch a Mudarabah current account product, and at its fourth meeting, which took place on February 14, 1998, the Council decided that using Mudarabah contracts for current account product is acceptable. Next, an indicative rate was created to assist depositors and investors who want to fund their accounts or make investments in Islamic banking organizations. At the Council meeting on February 25, 1999, it was resolved that indicative profit might be applied in Mudarabah contracts where the actual profit rate received by Islamic banking at the maturity of the contract was different from the agreed upon indicative profit rate at the contract starts. This difference has to be the foundation for the profit rate given to the investors. Lastly, an Islamic Banking Association has suggested enabling the bank to charge holders of Mudarabah deposit accounts administrative fees. The Council resolved at its meeting held on November 11, 2000, that banks could not impose administrative fees on depositors of Mudarabah deposit accounts. When calculating the agreed upon profit sharing ratio, it is critical to take the bank's demand for additional funding for administrative costs into account.